wherever you are. We're on 7 platforms, 7 days a week, and it's Christmas Eve, so Merry Christmas. Okay? Yes, it's Christmas Eve for some, it's Saturnalia for others. Okay? So, yes, welcome to the dichotomy. Anyway, but yeah, so the, all of the religious holidays have been uh, neatly placed over the pagan holidays. So, Merry Christmas, Happy Saturnalia, whichever you choose. So, we're not here to tell you what to believe. Okay, we're here to open your eyes so you can see. We're here to open your mind so you can think, and we're here to give you a better understanding of how the kingdom works. Jesus Christ said, the kingdom is within. Gautama Buddha said, the kingdom is within in a different way. And Krishna said, the kingdom is within in a different way. Lao Tzu, all of the great, let's say, thought leaders or teachers or masters, let's call them all of the above, those people have all told us that the kingdom is within. So nothing happens out here. Okay, everything happens from in here, from within. So we've been talking about, societal hypnosis, the things that make us feel things so that we get emotionally charged thoughts, so that those thoughts get imprinted in our subconscious. And pretty soon, right, we start wondering like, hey, wait a minute, these aren't even my thoughts, right? Most people don't question. But when you start to question, you go, wow, these aren't even my thoughts, but I'm hearing them in my voice, because you hear them in your voice more than anything else. When you hear a thought, you're hearing it in your voice. Now, your subconscious recognizes your voice over everyone else. Your subconscious recognizes your image over everyone else. So when you're thinking a thought, you're observing the fact that you're thinking the thought and you're hearing it in your voice. If that thought becomes emotional, it goes in your subconscious. If that thought is, let's say, just matter of fact, it's dealt with your conscious mind. Now, if you don't want it in your subconscious, if you don't want to believe whatever it is you're hearing, dismiss it with your conscious mind. Say no, say stop. Stop is probably more effective than no. But then you have to switch over to something that you really want to think about, that you really want to believe. Okay? And it's not so much that you want to believe it, you just want to get out of the negative thinking. Because you're good in here. You're perfect in here. Okay? You are a spiritual being having a physical experience. There is a separation between the body and the spirit. Okay? So, first of all, good morning, guys. Good morning, Aaron. So, first of all, when we start, talking like this, right? So, yesterday, somebody was saying, oh, you're just babbling. Well, it's because you don't understand. And that's why I'm here, to break things down for you so that you understand. Okay? So, the separation between the body and spirit just says that you're not your body, you're not your name. You're that energy that lives in here. You're that spirit that lives in here. That's what attracts things into your world. Okay, now your body is just a vehicle. Your body is here to pick things up, to feed you, all of that. You've been given a body, you've been given a name. But at a deeper level, at an interior level, in the kingdom, okay, within, okay, the God with you that's with you within is in here. Okay, that's who you really are. When you start approaching life from that standpoint, that everything is energy, everything gets easier to understand. When you start working your energy in such a way that you start becoming clear in here, everything happens easier, like in flow. Okay. When I started doing this, I started going through my paperwork like so quickly and effortlessly. What was happening before that? I used to get frustrated just looking at it. I used to look at the stack of papers on my desk and I used to go, oh, I gotta do all of that. Okay? Okay, that's mindset. Okay, mindset fixes that. But what happens is with affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization, it frees you up from that kind of thinking. Because then you look at the stack and you go, all right, let's do this. And you dive in. There is a side note to that. You do not allow anyone to bother you. Okay, because you need time to flow. Okay, if someone is interrupting your flow, just know that it's energetic. Okay, and there is bad energy. Bad energy comes from the lack of good energy. It's the opposite. Okay. So, what happens in that instance? How does that happen? Does somebody cast a spell on you or something? No, 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 no. It's not like that at all. They will distract you, they will pull you out of the flow. That's all. Okay. So, if you're working on something, you're flowing, right? Flow means you're doing your work, but it's effortless. It's just a process. You're just going through everything, going through the steps, going through everything. But if somebody is there to interrupt you, right? They're interrupting your flow, then you have a problem. Only because the flow becomes disrupted. So that's like if you have a hose, a water hose in the yard or something, right? And you have a flow going and you take the hose and you bend it. Now you don't have a flow. Okay. Now when you release the flow comes back. Okay. So and you don't want to disrupt your flow. Okay, because that will throw you off energetically. Okay, because your energy, right? So now you have to, restart. Okay, go again, get that momentum going and flow. See, so momentum is also important. Okay, people don't realize how important momentum is, energetic momentum in your life. So now we're going to just go over a little recap of our societal hypnosis. Okay, so just know that these are things that you hear, these are things that you see, these are things that, all of your senses make up your subconscious. Okay, now these little background things that happen, okay, are going to go into your subconscious as programs. If, okay, here's the if, right? If you think about it with emotion. So if somebody is, let's say, doing some sort of propaganda, let's say it's intentional. Let's say it's political. They want you to vote for them, okay? So, you hear ads on the radio, right? And sometimes when ads come on, people are not paying attention. They're talking, they're doing other things, right? When you're driving, you're having a conversation with somebody, but these things are running in the background. Your subconscious picks up all of it. All of it. Okay? It's called subconscious for a reason. It works underneath the level of consciousness. Okay? So it's part of awareness, okay? But it needs to be a soft background kind of thing. Now, if you're intentionally installing a program, you want your brain to be in alpha state. What does that mean? Well, that means you're focused, okay, but you're relaxed in the focus. Here's how to do alpha state, okay, if you want to hack, okay? Close your eyes and look up. Okay, look up here, okay? Just close your eyes and just look up with your eyes and stay in that position for a while. You're going to feel a little twitching going on, okay? But your brain will shift into alpha state. Now, what is that good for? That's good if you're memorizing things, if you're trying to memorize, let's say, a program, or if you're trying to memorize like some kind of system that you've created, or some kind of let's say if you adjust your schedule a certain way and you're trying to create a routine, this will get it into your subconscious very quickly. And then what happens is you can rely on your subconscious to repeat the program. And that's where the gold happens. That's where the good stuff happens. Why? Because then you don't have to effort yourself through things. Thank you. Who did that? Thank you. Oh, Rosanna. Good morning, Rosanna. How you doing? Thank you so much. So then you don't have to effort your way through things every day. That's what the subconscious is for. Okay? So people don't realize how powerful they are in here, how powerful the subconscious is. The subconscious is there so you don't need to learn how to drive every day. Okay? Everything gets committed to memory. But the subconscious is your book of life because the subconscious memorizes everything. It has a record of everything. Everything you've ever said, everything you've ever done. Okay? Everything. Everything that's ever happened to you. Okay? And the bad things we call trauma because the bad things are things that stick out because they were bad. Okay? And they have a lot of emotion attached to it. That's the definition of trauma. So when something traumatic happens, it goes right into your subconscious. Okay, and then you have to work to get over it. Good morning, good morning. Flower. Okay, you don't have a name. What can I do if I have controlling parents who want to choose everything for me? You're 25. Okay. Oh, you're 25. Okay. So yeah, you need to get out of control. So the way I did that, I'm from another island and I live on this island now. And back when I was 17 years old, I instructed my parents to put me on a plane and that I was going to come here and I didn't want to do that kind of life anymore. So you need to make a decision. You need to know that you're going to be okay. I'm sure you already know you're okay, right? You feel obligated to answer or let's say obey your parents. That's a good thing, okay? Obeying your parents is a good thing. But when you're 25, you need to detach a little bit, okay? I'm not saying don't detach in a bad way. So you need to come from love. You need to come from, how you feel. You need to come from I. I feel like mom. I feel that like that kind of thing. Dad, no disrespect, but I feel, and you come from how you feel. If you come from, you know, you guys can't treat me like this. You guys are too controlling. Or if you come from you like that rather than I, you're going to put your parents on the defensive. There's going to be hurt feelings, and you don't want that. You want to be able to slowly separate from your parents, and they use emotional manipulation and control where I live and everything. Oh my gosh, yeah. So I had a girlfriend like that a long, long time ago, many, many years ago. It was very difficult. It was very, very difficult to get her over that kind of thinking. So the manipulation happens because you let it. Okay. Um, yeah, they control where you live and everything. Okay, so yeah, so you need to sit down and have a heart to heart with your parents. You need to have that. You need to build the courage, the confidence to do that. Okay, you've tried talking this way, but they're very stubborn and don't really care about what I want. Then you're going to have to save money and move away from them because it becomes a toxic situation. Okay, and when it becomes a toxic situation, or let's say more toxic, because it's toxic for you in this sense. When it becomes more toxic, then this happens, and then there's bad feelings that come about. You don't want to make bad feelings with your parents. They will understand eventually because you're still young. Okay, so they will understand eventually, and sometimes the separation. Uh, I mean, it's a good thing, but sometimes it's a little painful in the beginning emotionally. Okay, it's emotionally taxing in the beginning, but you'll get used to it. They'll get used to it. You feel like a prisoner. Yeah, yeah. No, I feel you. I totally feel you. I've been there. I've been there. Boys are a little bit different though. Okay, sure. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. You're welcome to message me, and if you need anything further, just message me. So sorry, we have a we have a chat going on over here. We're on 7 platforms every day. Merry Christmas, by the way, you guys. Merry Christmas, guys. Okay, so you know, these things that you allow to become beliefs in your subconscious actually start to control your life if you don't control your mind. Okay, so oh yeah, sure, yeah, anytime, sure, I'll help you. Don't worry about it. You're not gonna get a bill. Miss Sunshine, yay, good morning. Yeah, you can email me right there. There you go. Thank you, Jay. And then my name is, on the live, and you guys can search my name. So anyway, uh, so societal hypnosis is real because there's always these things operating in the background. Okay, television, radio, social media, um, all kind music. A lot of things happen in music. A lot of societal conditioning happens through music. Okay, because the music goes over and over and over and over. If you like the music, okay, that's emotion, and emotion will go into the subconscious very, very quickly. Okay, now we've already been through a lot of this week, and we've been talking about how this works, you know, and why it's important. It's important because you need to take your life back. It's important because people get on the mouse wheel. They live on the mouse wheel. Okay, Monday through Friday, they do their 9 to 5. They come home, right? So they have a schedule. That's the mouse wheel. We need schedules. We need schedules in society. We need the clock. We need the calendar. We need these things to be organized. But when you start to subconsciously go through these rituals, okay, every day, okay, what happens is you begin to think things or think thoughts that aren't yours, but you're thinking them in your voice. Sometimes you question them, sometimes you don't. Okay? I encourage I encourage you to question everything. Okay? Critical thinking is very, very important. However, your conscious mind, the left hemisphere of your brain, is the critical thinking part. Okay? It's only when if you're thinking about, let's say it this way, if you're thinking about a fact, something that you know is factual, that's your conscious mind. It will stay there because it's a fact. Okay. Now, you'll have to repeat that fact over and over to memorize it, and then it goes in your subconscious because you believe it. Okay. But if it's emotional, if it's an emotional thought, like if it's really sad, something happens really sad, or you see something online, or you see something on TV news, or you see some whatever. Okay, when you see things like in a movie, it makes you feel something. And these things are done deliberately. Okay, they're not just entertainment kind of thing. There are overtones to these things. Narratives are produced from these things, and this is not conspiracy. This is just most of it is marketing. Most of it is because there's a money angle to it. Follow the money. Follow the money. A lot of times movies come out to prep you for things that are being brought into the world. Okay? So let me give you an example. First, you see the movie. Oh, the movie has electric cars. And then pretty soon, hey, there's an electric car company. Like, hey, now everybody's buying electric cars. Hey, this is just like the movies. Okay? I'm just giving you examples. Okay? And we talked about mass formation psychosis. Okay? This is global, on a global scale. Okay? That's what the pandemic was. They got everybody to think the same way about the same thing, and they got everyone to follow. Why? Because human beings are very impressionable. It doesn't take much, okay? It doesn't take much. But when you think about, something like COVID or something like disease or something like, famine or something like whatever, something drastic, it's emotional because you feel it, okay? In COVID, like people felt scared. There were things that scared people, like really scared people. People are still walking around with masks on for no good reason at all. They're driving in their car with masks on. That's actually hurting them. because you're supposed to exhale your waste after you breathe in. But no, they've got it right here, and it's bad for you. People were so scared they rushed to go get vaccinated. Give me medicine, give me medicine. Yeah, I want to, I don't want to die. I don't want to die, whatever. And then now we're finding out, well, that wasn't the thing to do. So was this, the questions, right? Was this political? And this is not a political life, okay? I'm just going through examples of mass formation psychosis. Mass, okay? People in mass numbers. Was this to sell antidotes? Was this to sell vaccines? Was there a more sinister plot at play? Was it to see how many people would obey? I'm not here to voice my opinions. I'm not here to tell you what to believe either way. Okay? But when you start asking questions about it, and you should question everything, you're a human being. When you start going along, you've been programmed. When you panic, okay, you're putting fear in here. When you put fear, the subconscious is okay. It's hungry because now you're feeding the subconscious with the emotion. It does the same way in the positive. When you get excited about something, when you go, yeah, we're making money. When money's coming in, right? What does that do? That tells the subconscious, all right, let's make money, make money, make money, make money. That's the signal. And then what happens? Money starts coming in. What happens when money goes out? What happens when there's no money coming in? Or very little money coming in? Or just the regular money and the bills get bigger? What happens? Do you feel good or you feel bad? Yeah, you start getting alarmed. Oh my God, money's running out. Oh, how am I going to pay for this? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? And this is when you start doing your affirmations, meditation, vocalization, and visualization. What happens? It turns it around. And some people are like, well, I only make so much money. I'm here to tell you that if you think that money is the only way you can do something, you're suffering from limited thinking. I built a $4 million advertising machine from scratch, from nothing. I'm not here to flex about that. You can put my name in. You can put my name in a browser or AI or whatever, and look at everything. I'm not here to flex. I'm here to tell you that you don't need, in today's world, you don't need money to start. You have free websites. You have free accounts. You have free social media. You have free. You have a way to show people things that you do, services that you can provide, things you're good at. All you have to do on social media is do things that you're good at. It could catch on. Okay, let me give you an example because I just want to share things that will help you. There's this guy that I heard of way back, years and years ago. And I think it was around 2010, 2011, something like that. And this one of my students at the time told me, "Oh, uncle," he called me uncle. He said, "Uncle, you need to check out this I'llDrawYouACat.com." And I'm like, "Oh, what's going on?" He goes, "Oh, well, this guy charges $10 for a cat, and people order cats to support him." And I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." And so now in my mind, my visual, okay, is I'm thinking this guy is like doing a, sketch or a painting of a cat, regular cat. And so I asked this guy, like, did he make a lot of money doing it? Oh yeah, he made tons of money doing that, hundreds of thousands of dollars doing that. He was even on a TED Talk, and I'm like, a TED Talk, really? He goes, yeah. So I thought, wow, this guy must be a really good artist. So I looked him up. Guess what I found? Stick figure cats. Okay. $10 stick figure cats. And I was like, whoa, it wasn't about the quality of the cats. I think it was the courage of this guy to just put himself out there. He was drawing stick figure cats. They looked kind of funny, they were entertaining. But people wanted to support him. When people see people do stuff like that, they want to get on board. They want to support, right? You know, people buy my book all the time to support. You know, I don't know if they really read my book or whatever. There's way more book sales than reviews, so maybe they just support, you know. Either way, it's a very high compliment. But what I'm really saying is there's there's avenues for you. There's there's so many venues that you can use for free to make money. So it's no longer, you know, the old cliche, it takes money to make money. You need to have money first, then you can make more money. That doesn't apply anymore. I started from scratch. I didn't know what I was doing. You know, I have four companies. I didn't know what I was doing. The how is God's job. All you have to know is what you want to do and why. Know your why. Your why is important. Okay? But what I really wanted to talk to you about, you know, we've been doing it this entire week, is societal hypnosis because you will be led if you don't lead your own mind. Okay, somebody else will be in charge of what you're thinking. Okay, a belief is a thought you keep thinking. If somebody makes you think a thought over and over again, that could be a commercial, that could be a reel, that could be an influencer, that could be anything, anyone, government, church, could be anything. Okay, but whatever that is, and if it's not you, you're being led, you're being influenced. So if you want to take the house back, so to speak, okay, then you need to take control of your mind. You need to direct your mind. You need to give your mind a job. Okay. So now that we know all of this, we went through all of the seven different phases yesterday of hypnosis, basically societal hypnosis, how it happens, why it happens. Today, I'm going to show you what to do about it. Okay. So I'm going to teach you a little bit about Ho'oponopono. So I know it's like what like no, Ho'oponopono is a Hawaiian word, okay, and it's not even important that we really get into the word, okay. The root word is pono. When things are pono, uh, in Hawaiian, it means it is as it should be. It's pono, okay. Um, you can say the optimum vibration, right? Clarity, okay. Ground zero, okay. So it would be at the very root of your being, okay. So you were born pono, and then life happens, right? Then the negative emotions come, the negative experiences come, the failures come, the hurt comes, all of this. But this is life, okay. How do you clear this one? How do you clear this? Well, Ho'oponopono is very simple. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Okay? If you want to write to me, Junior at Here For You, lifecoaching.com, I will be happy to send you a sheet on it. We have sheets and PDFs, and I'll send you a PDF. You don't have to sign up for anything. I'm not here to sell you stuff. Okay, I'm not here to, if you're welcome to be a client, but I'm not here to push anything like that. I'm here so that you can tune in and learn for free because that way I affect more people. Okay, way more people. My calendar is almost full, and so I can't accommodate everyone. But this way I can affect a lot of people. Okay, and then you go do the research. Okay, so you're 100% responsible for everything that happens in your life. And I know at the onset it's like, what? I'm responsible for the bad things that are going on right now, the drama. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Now, some of these things have been attracted to you because you intentionally attract them. Okay? Some of these things happen because your subconscious absorbs other things from other sources and you begin to become it. Okay? So, like, let's say in high school, you start listening to metal. Okay? And let's say you kind of go with the metal crowd because now you're attracted to it. You like it. Okay? I'm not giving any judgment, okay? I'm just saying you like it. All right, there you go. Now you know, you're in that crowd. And now you do what they do. And now you think like they think. This is why they say show me 5 of your friends, 5 of your buddies, your closest friends, and I'll tell you who you are. Because human beings are like chameleons. When you move to a new neighborhood, when you make a new friend group, you get into a new friend group, you start doing as they do, and then you start thinking as they think. And pretty soon, what happens? You get the same results they're getting. Okay, now if they're struggling, you begin to struggle too. If they're succeeding, if they're ambitious, you begin to become ambitious too. If they're lazy, if they just kind of lie around and play video games all day, you start to do it too. Okay, so whatever it is, there's no judgment. I'm not saying anything's right or wrong, okay? But that's what happens. Okay, so sometimes, depending on the situation, and you'll know because it's your situation, okay? Thank you, P. Diddy Music. It's not a perspective. You can look this up. It's not a perspective at all. What is it when you have no close friends? It's easier to be your own person. Uh, yeah, so you can look at friends either way. Uh, it depends on what you want out of life. I just want my dream to come through. Okay, good. Focus on your dream. Okay, affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization. So the vocalization, speak about your dream, talk about your dream. Okay, out loud to yourself. Okay, express that dream, but do it with emotion. Okay, be excited about it. When you write your affirmation, you know, put down your dream. What's your dream? And I'll give you the affirmation. Uh, sure, no problem. Yeah. So write an affirmation. If you put down your dream, I'll give you an affirmation. What is it? Babaldi? 70? Yeah. So, um, so anyway, so ho'oponopono. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. What this does is it clears your mistakes. When you make a mistake, okay, and this is subconscious, this is in your subconscious. This is not magic, this is not witchcraft, this is not, sorcery, and this is none of that. Okay, it's subconscious. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. I did that last night on my way to sleep when my brain was in theta state. Okay, I was clearing. Why? Why did I clear at night? So my subconscious hears that all night long. Okay? Then what happens? When I wake up, it's a brand new day, the slate is cleared, and now I go about my happy day. Okay? So when your focus is happiness, your subconscious learns it and it repeats it. It looks for evidence of it. Okay? I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. You're saying it to yourself and your creator, whoever you believe that to be. If you believe that to be Jesus Christ, okay, you're saying it to you and Jesus. If you believe in Allah, you're saying it to you and Allah. If you believe in whatever you believe, source, then you're saying it to you and source. If it's just the creator to you, okay, so it's you and the creator, you and infinite intelligence, you and universe. Whatever word you want to use as a label, okay, for higher power, whatever your higher power is. I'm not here to tell you what to believe. I respect everyone's beliefs. Everyone has different beliefs. Everyone has a different perception. What works for one person does not necessarily work for the next person because they believe differently. That's why their perception is different. This is not a perspective, this is fact. You can look this up. When you believe differently, let's say you have two people, and they both belong to the same occupation, maybe they're both doctors, okay? But this doctor is going to have a little bit different beliefs than this doctor. And although they're in the same profession, although they're treating the same people for the same illnesses, they may go about it differently because they're individuals. There's 8 billion people on the planet. No two are exactly alike. That in itself is a miracle. That is a miracle. So, how do you make this work for you? Well, you begin to clear, okay? So, when you make a mistake, when you say something to someone like you're angry, we're humans. We're humans. This happens. Happens to me all the time. But I clear. I say I'm sorry. If you have a problem saying I'm sorry, you need to practice and you need to be comfortable with it and you need to be good with it. You don't need to say sorry to everybody. You don't need to go around and say, hey, I'm sorry. Hey, I'm sorry. Don't do that. That's another problem. That creates another issue, okay? You don't have to do that to anyone if you don't want to. Or if, let's say, if you feel uptight about it. Because if you get a bad feeling about it, it's not for you. But say it in here to you and to your creator, whoever you believe that to be. Okay? This works. Now, these phrases are not affirmations. Okay? These phrases create inner cleansing. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. They clear. And they don't only clear you, they clear situations. So I say this while I'm teaching. I say this in session with people. Why? Why do I do that? Because if you clear here, you clear there. Whatever's there. If it's another person, it helps them. If it's a situation, it helps. So one of the foremost authorities on Ho'oponopono. So Jay will spell it out in the chat. It's a Hawaiian word, so it's kind of difficult to spell. Ho'o, Ho'oponopono, Ho'oponopono. Okay, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Now, the foremost expert, he just passed away not too long ago. Dr. Hugh Lin, Dr. Haleakala Hugh Lin. Now, Dr. Hugh Lin actually created quite a bit of interest when he used to work at the state hospital in Hawaii, here in Hawaii. And he worked in the criminally insane unit where they commit people, right? These are like hardcore cases. And he used to sit outside their room, their cell, and he used to do this Ho'oponopono practice. And it used to make them well. It used to help them. They got better, and the doctors did not understand what was going on. Okay, so again, I will say God is real. Okay, that's my opinion. I'm not trying to push it on you. So however you believe, whatever you believe, but that actually happened. I am the creator, and I are one. Yes, you are. Yep. That's exactly what I keep telling people every day. Okay. So, anyway, so Dr. Hugh Lin used to do this, and he used to treat these people. Well, the practice carried into the work of Dr. What's his name? He actually formed a partnership with Dr. Hugh Lin. I'm trying to think of his name. It kind of escaped me. I made notes. I'm looking at my notes. I'm trying to. I did not put his name down, but his book is called Zero Limits. I don't know why it escaped me right now, but I'm in real time doing this. So anyway, look up the title, the book Zero Limits. It's there. It's there. But the zero limits thing, okay, and the goal of Ho'oponopono is to be clear, okay, and that's why it's zero limits. You need to get to zero, okay, and they're talking about no memories, no judgment, no emotional charge, and no resistance. Okay, now resistance is what keeps everybody from their manifestation. Okay, you attract who you are. You also attract what you want. You can deliberately attract what you want. I, I I do it all the time. Jay sees me do it. Jay sees me do it all the time. Okay, I deliberately attract what I want. However, okay, there's a caveat here. Okay, you cannot attract what you want. I don't care if you pray for it, or you do your affirmations for it, or you know rub your lucky stone for it, whatever, rabbit's tail, okay? If your subconscious believes otherwise. So you need to address your beliefs first in the subconscious. Because if you do not believe, let's say you don't feel worthy, and the key word is feel, okay? Because God responds to your emotions, not to your words. God responds to your happiness. God responds to your joy. And I know if you're having a hard time right now with anything, doesn't matter what it is, right? The first thought is, well, yeah, but how do you fix this? How do you fix that? How do you fix no money? How do you fix, you know, illness? How do you fix whatever? Okay? God is real. There is a cure for everything. If, okay, here's another if, okay? If your subconscious is in alignment, you have to be in alignment with God. And what am I talking about? Am I talking about going to church? No, I'm not talking about going to church. If you want to go to church, okay, go. That's a great thing to be around like-minded people to share in whatever you believe in with them and like that. Okay, I try to keep this neutral. I do quote a lot of church things because that's my background. Okay, I'm a Christian, but I'm not here to promote Christianity. I'm just here to give examples. I have a lot of Christians that belong to my platforms worldwide on YouTube. On yeah, I don't want to mention them that the algorithms get all sensitive. But here's the thing, okay? You have to have alignment between the conscious, subconscious, and superconscious. So your conscious mind needs to think thoughts that are in alignment with your beliefs in your subconscious, or the beliefs in your subconscious need to change. When your conscious mind begins directing things towards what you believe, now the conscious and the subconscious are in alignment. When the conscious mind and the subconscious are in alignment, because the subconscious is your core beliefs, okay? Your fundamental core beliefs, what you believe to be true about the world. And this is what constructs your paradigm. Your paradigm is just the way you see the world, which will form your attitude. You know, people who have bad attitudes, like, oh, they're just negative about everything. They just, right? Those people, okay? There's beliefs in their subconscious that made them that way. That's what creates that. Okay, what about the superconscious? Superconscious is God. Superconscious is awareness. We're all awareness. So in the Bible, when it says we are all one, that's what it's talking about. We are all one awareness, consciousness. Okay, esoteric knowledge will teach you this if you research esoteric knowledge. But these things are not given to the masses because the masses won't understand. They need to learn. And this is why also in the Bible it says, seek and you shall find. It doesn't mean to go house to house or go to another country looking for things, or no. It means to close your distractors and seek in the kingdom. This is the kingdom. This is your kingdom. You are the king or queen of your kingdom. You are the ruler of your kingdom. And you need to rule. In other words, you need to be the leader. You need to take charge. Because if you don't direct your kingdom or your mind, okay, because that's what's in the kingdom, somebody else will. Because we are so highly intelligent as humans. A belief is a thought you keep thinking. If somebody can make you think a thought, what if they make you angry? And now it's emotionally charged. Okay. But now you're thinking about XYZ, but you're thinking about it angrily. It goes into your subconscious. Then what does the subconscious do? It looks for confirmation. And it will look for confirmation on the topic and keep you angry about it. And every time your conscious mind thinks about that, what happens? You get triggered. There you go. And then what happens? It goes in a circle. What do we call that when it's a problem, when it's negative, it keeps going in a circle in your subconscious? What do we call that? We call it torment. A lot of people are living in torment. A lot of people are living in turmoil because it goes around and around and around and around. And it looks for things. Confirmation, okay? So if you think, let's say you think you're not too smart, it'll go, hey, remember in 6th grade? Remember when you failed that test? Or hey, remember when you couldn't make the fire department? Hey, remember when you failed? You tried to get into the police academy? Remember when you failed? You see, it will do that. Test and would get punished in afterlife if they were bad? No. Wait, what? Test and would get punished in afterlife if they were bad, if they're already suffering here? That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. You do not understand the stories. Yeah, you don't. I don't think the first. Okay, write the first part again. That's, I can already tell. That's you're looking at the story. You're not looking at the meaning. Okay, so a lot of the sacred writings are not literal. Okay. For example, Jesus taught in parables for a reason. Anyway, so like I was talking about, right? These things that trigger you over and over and over are subconscious programs. That's all they are. They can be you can reprogram a subconscious program very easily. Affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization. Okay, so I'm here to dispel the fairy tales. Well, I'm just going to write this affirmation and it's going to show up. So there are steps to this. There are mental steps, and there are physical steps, and there are spiritual steps. What are the mental steps? First, conscious mind thinks the thought, that's the target. Okay, let's say it's new car. Okay, we're talking manifestation or goal accomplishment. Same thing. Okay, all right, there's no magic involved, there's no genie, there's no magic lamp. Conscious mind thinks up the target. Okay, so the target, new car. Okay, a belief is a thought you keep thinking, so your conscious mind needs to keep thinking that thought. After about 2 weeks, and this is not like you don't have to think it every minute of every day, but it's a recurring thought. You think about it. New car. Maybe I should get a new car. Oh, whatever. And you go back to work. After work, you're driving home in your car. This car sucks. I should get a new car. You keep thinking. In about 2 weeks, it starts to take hold in your subconscious. In 66 days, it becomes a habit or a belief. In 66 days. So when it becomes a belief, your subconscious looks for evidence. Oh, maybe you should get a loan. Oh, maybe you should go down to the dealer and just see how much they cost. Maybe you should get another job, like a side hustle or whatever, to support the car. And then you can buy a new car, whatever it is. Maybe you should save money. Or maybe I should take money out of my savings and put it down on the car and get a new car. Pull the trigger, as they say. So all of these variables come from that initial thought placed in the subconscious by the conscious mind. This is the target. Okay, now when the target is established or the goal is established, this is why you have to have goals. You have to write them down. But when the goal is established, now the subconscious goes to work. Now, the two are in alignment because the conscious mind thinks, yeah, new car, yeah, you know, maybe I should do this, do that. Subconscious is giving you all these variables to try to get you there. Oh, maybe you should do this, that, whatever the dynamics are, okay, whatever the variables are. And then what does the superconscious do? So these are all states of awareness in here. What does the superconscious? Superconscious is God. So maybe you'll be driving home from work one day, and the superconscious gives you intuitive thought, and that thought is just go down to the dealer already. And you drive in and you go through the steps, right? You talk to the salesperson, they show you around, you know, they ask you if you want to test drive, you go on the ride, and then you do the hurry up and wait game and you stay there for 4 hours while they try to get you financing. And eventually you get the car or not. And if you don't get it, what do? If at first you don't succeed, try again, okay? But you will be assisted by intuitive thought. Maybe your credit's not so good. Okay, they have programs for stuff like that, right? I mean, there's always an answer because they really want to make the sales. So it's not like things are impossible for you. All you need to do is clean things up a little bit in your life. It's not a major deal. It's not a major deal. But, okay, here's your big fat but if your subconscious is full of I can't, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't get a new car, I can't get a job that pays more, I can't get an education, I can't do that, I can't do that, I can't do this. Henry Ford said, if you think you can or you think you can't, either way, you're correct. Why would he say that? He knew the secret. It's your subconscious. See, people like that, people who are in charge of a lot of people, okay, I have tons of clients like that. I have a CEO, okay, he writes affirmations. He writes things down. He makes lists. He makes goals. He's very, very focused. Why? Because he owns a company. He runs the company. There's a lot of employees. They make a lot of money. So he needs to be organized here. See, if you're organized in here, this is automatically organized. If you're having problems with someone in here, in other words, the way you feel about someone or drama with someone, okay? If you change the way you think about them in here, or you change the way that you approach them from here, okay, from within, because that's how we approach people, the dynamics change between you and the person. It cannot remain the same. But if the dynamics remain the same, you'll get the same result. And this is why they say insanity, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over. That's your subconscious, over and over. Okay? Sometimes without your control, because a lot of people tell me that. A lot of my clients tell me that. Oh, I did this and I don't know why I did that, but I just did it. Yeah, subconscious. So the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a better result or a different result. And this is why people get the same thing. This is why people live the same life over and over and over and over and over. And even if they pray, even if they wish, even if they desire, right? If the subconscious says, I don't think that's possible. I don't think I can do it. Meh. Okay? I don't care how hard you pray. I don't care how many affirmations you write. Now you have resistance. And this is what the Ho'oponopono gets rid of. Okay? It gets rid of the resistance. It gets rid of you and your grip on yourself. Because that's what it is. It's you holding yourself back. The prison is here. That's what I do for a living. I unlock people. I unlock the prison door and I let them out. Some of them end up back in prison. But there are choices that will put you in prison, and there are choices that will liberate you. Okay? So some people choose to go back. Some people choose to go back to the old ways of doing things. When you change your subconscious, you change the beliefs in your subconscious. It's not like you can wipe it clean, okay? 10 to 15% of your subconscious, maybe more, is achievable. Okay? You can actually go up to like 90% of your subconscious and change it. But there's going to be memories. We all have memories. Okay? And slowly the memories can, if we let them, attract us back to the way things were. And a lot of people, right? You hear people all the time, oh, I miss the way it used to be. I miss the way it was. I miss the old days, good old days, right? Nothing wrong with the good old days. But how did you act in the good old days? What did you do in the good old days? You have those memories too. So once you get ahead in life, you look back on the old days. Like I look back on the old days and I go, wow, yeah, that was a good run. That was fun. Yeah, I remember when I didn't own anything. I didn't have any responsibilities. I wasn't making any money. But oh, I was happy. Why was I happy? Because I had no responsibility. I was engaged. And my fiance and I had nothing. Absolutely nothing. I had a job. She had a part-time job. I paid for her college. She was going to community college. And we were catching the bus. I didn't have a car. We used to go in the rain sometimes. I mean, it was just fun. We had nothing. And then later on, life happens. Responsibilities come. Then what do? You take life serious. What happens when you take life too serious? Well, when you make a mistake, the ramifications or the results are serious. Okay, so you make a mistake, right? And if you make a serious mistake, you'll get a serious circumstance. If you go lightly, baby steps, and you go, oh, baby steps, right? Oop, is the water too cold? You take your toe, you put it in the swimming pool. Oh, too cold, I'm not going swimming. That kind of thing, baby steps. Then when you make a mistake, what happens? God is very forgiving. Okay, God is love. Okay. God is love. God is here, in the kingdom. The kingdom is within. Okay, Jesus Christ told us the kingdom is within. God is here to help us, to assist us. All you have to do is choose that energy that is in here, your spirit in here. Recognize the power of this because you're very, very powerful. You have no idea how powerful you are as a human and how intelligent you are as a human. And when you realize this, whoa, and Ho'oponopono will help you with mistakes. Okay? So even if you fall prey to societal hypnosis, okay, and you don't understand why you're thinking the thoughts you're thinking because they're not really your thoughts, they're kind of like got put there, right? You got ideas and then they became beliefs. You can still clear them. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Okay? And what that does is it makes you feel better in here. It makes the mistakes temporary. The mistakes kind of fade away. And then you have a new slate. And you should do this like throughout the day if you have problems. Okay? And don't forget gratitude. Say thank you all day long. Say thank you. I say thank you all throughout the day for different things, whatever. Sometimes it's my food, sometimes it's the shower, sometimes it's the fees that come in when my clients re-up or whatever it is. Whatever it is. And I say thank you. Don't forget to say thank you. You don't have to say thank you to everybody. You can say it in here or, if you have customers, you're a business person, yeah, of course. Say thank you to your clients. Okay. Yeah, you can message me. Oh, happy Christmas, Manuel. Yes, happy Christmas, my friend in Belgium. Yeah, Mele Kaliki Maka is the way we say Merry Christmas in Hawaii. So, but Ho'oponopono, okay? The spelling again, Ho'oponopono, Ho'oponopono, okay? It makes everything good in here, which makes everything good out here. and then you think the world is getting better, okay? But that's not really what's going on. The reality of what's going on is that everything got better in here, in you, and as a result, everything out here is reacting to you, right? When you're happy, people smile. When you smile at somebody walking down the street, they smile. When you walk into a Starbucks and you're cheerful, people smile at you. People are friendly. They will talk to you. If you walk in all grumpy and mad and everything, nobody wants to deal with you. Nobody wants to say hi. Everybody kind of like leaves you alone, right? Okay. So be happy, be joyful. Merry Christmas, and I will see you tomorrow morning. I know it's December 25th. People were asking me yesterday, are you going to be there on Christmas Day? I said, yeah, of course I'm going to be here on Christmas Day. So join us tomorrow on Christmas Day, okay? It's both Jesus' birthday and Saturnalia, go figure. But yeah, Jesus was actually born uh, in September, okay? He was born of a virgin, okay? That's different, different live. Thank you, Miss Sunshine. So yeah, Lulu. Hi, Lulu. So tomorrow, 1 hour before this, tomorrow, every day, it's 8 a.m. right now, 8:02 a.m. in Hawaii right now, and we're on every day at 7 a.m. Hawaii time. So it's going to be 1 hour ago and tomorrow. That's an ADHD way of looking at it. Sure, you're very welcome. Take care. All right, you guys. So we would like to say aloha and lots of love.